All right, so this is CatheXis Entertainment. I'm Jarec, your host, and this is Zenas. We're going to talk about his new EP, Rated R. So, I guess, what is Rated R?
Rated R is actually my debut EP. It is a 5-track EP. The reason why it is called Rated R is because every track on the track list begins with the letter R. So that's the reason why I decided to call the project Rated R. But it's a 5-track EP that I feel really introduces people to DJ Zenas and my artistry and what I do as like a DJ and producer and all that encompasses. Yeah.
And is there a reason that for the letter R, or is that it's just a way to tie together the themes of?
You know, I don't know. I must have an affinity towards the letter R or something, but I don't think there's like anything special behind it. That's just honestly how it ended up panning out. And I was like, one of my friends actually pointed out. He was like, "Doesn't every one of those songs start with the R?" And I was like, "Actually, yeah, it does." Well, so we kind of just ran with it. And all the stars must have aligned or something.
All right. So, what makes it unique other than all the letters or the words starting with R?
So I think Rated R is unique in the sense that it's a very like smooth transition into like who I am as an artist. You know, a lot of people assume that all I do is hip hop, which is completely cool. I mean, that's like a lot of the music that I've released thus far. But I think this kind of gives people a dynamic range of like what my abilities are as an artist. You know, as a DJ, as a producer. I self-produce all of the tracks on the album as well, and so I think it kind of, just like I said, gives people a solid introduction into who I am as an artist. I actually plan on elaborating more on that artistry in the future, but I feel like Rated R is a solid intro to who I am. Yeah.
So who's featured on the album? Who's a part of making all this dream come true?
Well, I gotta give some major shout outs. First and foremost, I gotta give a major shout out to my man Jarec. He is my brother from another mother. He's also the engineer for a lot of my tracks. Like, he engineered the entire project. I produced it, he engineered it, and then gotta give a shout out to Taylor Hahn as well. He mastered the entire project, so shout out to them. But as far as features on the project, I think I was able to feature a lot of Colorado's dope talent. Like, obviously there's plenty of dope talent like yourself and many others out there that I would still like to collaborate with, but like I said, with this being a good like intro into myself and like, you know, kind of like who is a good representation of Colorado thus far, so I collaborated with Kayla Ray. She's an awesome artist. I've always wanted to collaborate with her, and so was able to collaborate with her. I was able to collaborate with Talent Among Us. They're a hip-hop duo. Big fans of them. You know, those are my brothers as well. My brother from another mother, Ramon. That's my guy, so I had to get him on there as well. And then Jay Rich, who I had mentioned that engineered the project, I also featured him on the project as well. So
where did the idea from the project come from? Like, what were you listening to something? What was the idea that brought all of this together that made you want to include everyone in it? What was the glue of the project?
I think, I don't know if there was any like particular glue, but like for the project, but I'm a very vibey person. Like, I love whenever I connect with people, like whenever I can like vibe with people on certain wavelengths, you know, I consider them a part of my circle. And I've always wanted to like, you know, I guess create a project that was like not just a representation of me, but a representation of like my circle, you know, as well. And so I feel like this is a good representation of that. You know, a lot of the people who are featured on the EP, I consider all to be good, you know, friends. And so, you know, maybe even further than that, you know, my bros, you know, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I don't know if there was any particular glue, but I'm a very selfless person. Like, I love, you know, it being about, it's so much bigger than myself, you know, kind of thing. And that's how I always look at things.
Well, you say bigger than yourself. What are your plans for the big picture? I guess? What are your future
Bigger
plans?
picture? So, I mean, are we talking about like the biggest picture? Or?
Well, it can be. It's what are your next steps? What's what is the end goal and what's the next step towards your
the end goal, I guess we'll start with that because I feel like the end goal is important. But my end goal is all about, like I said, I am a very selfless person, so I've always wanted to be a philanthropist. I've always had an affinity towards reaching out and touching and helping as many people as I possibly can, and I've always wanted to do that on a mass scale. I think CatheXis in many ways, a lot of what you said as well, it resonates with me the same way, in the sense that, like I said, being a selfless person, that's just how I was raised. It's always about something that's bigger than yourself, and so I just basically saw it as an opportunity to connect with people who have that commonality in, regardless of what your passion is, whether it be music or acting or whatever it is, just helping people. We all have that common goal of teamwork, in the sense that it's always bigger than yourself, and we're all working towards that same goal, that commonality. As vigorous as that may be, like sometimes you give it your all, and to the biggest of extremes, kind of thing. But as you mentioned, if it's for a better cause, can you really be in the wrong for that? And so I'm the type of person, I'm an all-in kind of person. I'm either fully invested or I'm not at all, kind of thing. And so I'm fully invested towards the goal of, like I said, helping as many people as possible, making my impact on the world a positive one, and I'm willing to die for it. I'm willing to put in my blood, sweat, and tears to make that happen. And if I can help uplift as many people as possible along the way, then that's all that matters.